Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakakadash. Double honors, the elders and apostles, a great millstone who are teaching this truth and sincerity. And a shout out to Yakims out there in the four quarters of the earth proclaiming this truth. Bracha the Yahweh, Bracha the Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakakadash, Bracha Tunk. So, a little word of advice for anybody else who's also on BitChute. Careful what you title your videos. Not that they're giving you strikes, but they will not upload your video if you name it something that their algorithms don't like. Now, they have their own algorithm system. It's a little different than YouTube. YouTube just give you a strike, you know. They just give you a strike and remove you, you know, which is why I've had to host other channels on YouTube now. This one gets a second strike. Then I'm out for a while, for a season. Because you could say 3 months is a season. I'm not risking the whole channel going down, then all the sub channels are gone. So, you know, I'm just going to do what I can to stay on here. But if it gets a second strike, then I'll be on, you know, Israelite Foreigner 4 and up. I have it all the way up to 9. So if you don't see me on Israelite Foreigner 3, check the other channels, you know, which you just type in the names and you should find me. But most of all, look for me on BitChute because that's where my videos are going. Now, sometimes they may not have the same title as to what's on YouTube because yesterday's video had to be split into 2s because they wouldn't let me put it up there under the title that I had, which basically I was just saying that only the elect will be able to take the mask off the toxicity propaganda. And the propaganda, which is your TV, is nothing but toxicity. You know, having to wear a mask and all this bullshit, right? Well, here we go. Here's what people are thinking. Escapees, responsibility. Yeah, no accountability, right? So, you know, that's a little illustration there of what they think of him. But I think that there's more. Losing his grit. Tax revenue. Free money. So, you know, a little bit of political cartoons. But, you know, like everything else, because he abandoned everyone in Afghanistan, well, they're comparing it to Vietnam, but hey, Vietnam's got their own shit going on with their maximum lockdown. Vietnam deploys troops to enforce Crown Royal lockdown in largest city. Ho Chi Minh City, epicenter of Delta-driven hoax. Authorities tighten lockdown in city, no going out even for food. Vietnam deploys military to help with food distribution. So you don't think that's going to happen here? Just 1.8% people in Vietnam are fully finessed for the Chinese virus. Hanoi, Vietnam deployed soldiers on Monday to help enforce a strict lockdown in Ho Chi Minh City, its biggest urban area and current epicenter of its worst Chinese virus outbreak to date. So there you go. And even more. U.S. military screening evacuees for the Crown Royal at the Kabul airport. So there you go. Well, if you test positive, you ain't escaping Afghanistan. Sorry, dumb shit. You knew the job was dangerous when you took it. Remember, Joe Biden's making sure you can get everybody home. And don't forget, forced inoculations when you come back. If you get to come back, that is. CIA Director William Burns held secret meeting in Kabul with Taliban leader Abdul Ghani Baradar. I bet it was about, hey, we're going to leave all this shit behind for you. We want you to help us with Iraq and Syria, so that way we can continue our war of terror against them. Help us out. We're leaving you with all the equipment, so that way you can invade Syria and Iraq. Tell you what, we'll even lend you some C5s to help you bring the shit over there. Yeah, I bet you that's what it was really about. CIA Director William Burns held a secret meeting in Kabul Monday with the Taliban's de facto leader Abdul Ghani Baradar in the highest level face-to-face encounter between the Taliban and the Biden administration. So again, You know, this was all done on purpose. So that way, just like ISIS had all the old military equipment left in Iraq, you know, from Operation Iraqi Freedom, same move here. God damn, this devil never fucking changes. The Vanessa are worried, and scientists don't have answers. Yeah, you believe in the science. She blinded me with science. Anecdotes tell us what the data can. Vanessa people appear to be getting the Chinese virus at a surprisingly high rate. Is it because the tests were rigged all along? Well, can't say whether that is or not. Can only insinuate, right? But exactly how often isn't clear, nor is it certain how likely they are to spread the Chinese virus to others. Though it is evident, Vanessa still provides powerful bullshit, man. You know, bullshit is bullshit. Demonstrators occupy London News headquarters over pandemic coverage. A group of demonstrators occupied the entrance of the headquarters of ITV News and Channel 4 News in London, claiming that the media and misinforming people about Vanessa and the pandemic. You think? You mean they're calling bullshit bullshit? Huh. If the UK can do it, why can't daughter Babylon, since that's supposed to be mother Babylon, right? Your mother should know. Oh, your mother should know. What full FDA approval means for Crown Royal Vanessa. Nearly 9 months after the first Babylonians received their kill shots, the Chinese virus Vanessa from Pfizer received full approval from the FDA for people 16 and older on Monday. So there you go. FDA approved. Well, I'm sure that Biden... there it is. Biden urges companies to impose mandate following the FDA approval. Here it comes. Here it comes. Yeah, it's the monkey. You say you monkey around. Yeah. We know what this devil's all about. Implanting microscopic tags. Quantifying the staggering cost of U.S. military equipment left behind in Afghanistan. Yeah, well, it's because, of course, like everything else, though, it was meant to be given to ISIS to begin with, so that way they can continue their war of terror in Syria and Iraq. The U.S. provided an estimated $83 billion worth of training and equipment to Afghan security forces since 2001. So they'll be ready to invade Iran. I mean, that's what they want to do, right? Also believes about going after Iran last. This year alone, the U.S. military aid to Afghan forces was $3 billion. So there you have it. Give them the tools and the trades to pick up a gun. Gonna have a whole lot of fun. And it's 1, 2, 3. What are we fighting for? Oh, wrong era. How Biden's American families could destroy Iowa farmers. Yeah, because of course, like everything else, they want you to eat GMOs and Monsanto. They want you to eat plant-based burgers. In April, President Biden announced the American Families Plan that promises billions of dollars as an investment in our kids, our families, and our economic future. What it means is regulators! You know what regulation is? It means that you're not allowed to grow certain shit. Craig Hill, the president of Iowa Farm Bureau, calls the proposed transfer tax a major threat for family farms in the corn-growing state, who pass along significant sums of farmland to the next generation to work. So there you have it. Yeah, it's to destroy all the real food. That way you can eat garbage. Biden celebrates FDA approval with message to the unvanessed. This time for you to get your shot. Yeah, your choice is your free will, just like the choice to kill. Yeah, in those killing fields. And don't forget, you know, 400,000 more to die. Monitors to the kingdom of the dead. Familiar lyrics? They should be. Because here's your slayer.
I know that parents are concerned about COVID-19 cases among their children. I'll be addressing this soon with Secretary
I bet you will be.
Cardona to discuss
you're going to get them home, aren't you?
Back to school safely. Cases among children are still...
Go! them, beat the kid.
Cases among children
Make them wear a mask.
very rare. But I know
Fuck
that parents
you.
are thinking about their own kids. It's not as reassuring as anyone would like it to be. So let me say this as parents.
I can reassure you, this is the devil.
As you have the tools. You have the tools to keep your child safer. And two of those tools, above all, are available to you. One, make sure that everyone around your child who can be vaccinated is vaccinated.
Fuck you.
Parents, adults, teens. Two, make sure your child is masked when they leave home. That's how we can best keep our kids safe.
Yeah.
Now, I know that parents are concerned about the COVID-19
Yeah,
cases
they
among
show
the
that in
children.
another brick in the wall.
I'll be addressing this soon with
I can't play that due to copyright issues, but
to
it's
discuss
in the video,
how to
another
get our
brick in the
kids
wall.
back to school safely.
And you gotta remember, another brick in the wall movie is really just another version of 1984. But I'll go ahead and pull that up because they have an image of it. Not like I'm gonna be playing the song. We already know the song, but for edification's sake, let's go ahead and look at these images here. Yeah, grinding them into sheep. You know, waiting for the worms to come. Ah, here we are. Make sure that they're wearing masks. You mean like this? See if I can get that blown up. I already know what the song is, but okay. Doesn't seem to want to. Well, if it doesn't blow it up, it doesn't blow it up. Ah, wait, there it is. Look familiar? Alright, what was it Biden said again? I mean, did I hear that correctly? Make sure that they're what? I have to go back a little bit. Anyhow, you get the idea. Make sure that everybody is wearing a retard mask. Oh, there it is.
I know that parents are concerned about the COVID-19 cases among their children. I'll be addressing this soon with Secretary Cardona to discuss how we get our kids back to school safely. Cases among children are still rare, and severe cases among children are very, very rare. But I know that parents are thinking about their own kids. It's not as reassuring as anyone would like it to be.
Leave the
so let me say this as parents, to the parents. As you have the tools. You have the tools to keep your child safer. And two of those tools, above all, are available to you. One, make sure that everyone around your child who can be vaccinated is vaccinated. Parents, adults, teens.
You mean so that way they'll be as safe as the carnival cruise?
Masked when they leave home. That's how we can best keep our kids safe. I know that
Yeah, right.
I'll be soon with Secretary. Cases among children are still rare, and severe cases among children are very.
Yeah, we already know he's a liar anyways. But nonetheless, though, you know, reviewing song meaning, I mean, you could look up the song, but I mean, it's just, there's a lot in here because we know that Roger Waters is kind of a truther, you know. And here we go, you know. shit's really going down in Australia, and I got another brother from Men of Valor, South Carolina, who goes into this. You probably know him, Elder Brother Shamar. I think that's his name. Australian Prime Minister Morrison defends lockdown strategy as daily cases hit records. So they're always going to lie about the record numbers and all that. The country has set a record with new 914 false positives as highly daily figure as the southern and eastern states of New South Wales, Victoria, and the Australian Capital Territory remained under strict lockdown. You can't live with lockdowns forever, and at some point you need to make gear change, and that is done at 70%, Morrison said in a television interview. So, you know as well as I do that eventually it's going to happen over here in Babylon. It hasn't yet, but it's about to. And once they impose the second lockdown, you ain't getting out of it. None whatsoever.
And it's Australia now, where an anti-lockdown protest in Melbourne has turned violent. Police arrested demonstrators and used pepper spray as hundreds of people took to the streets. Protesters say the lockdown is authoritarian and a way to deflect criticism of a vaccination program that has fallen far behind those of other countries.
Anger boils over in Melbourne. These protesters want their freedoms back. The city is in its 6th lockdown. Now the restrictions have been extended to the entire state. Frustration is also mounting in Sydney. Despite being more or less shut down for 8 weeks, the majority of Australia's coronavirus cases are being recorded there. The health minister issued a stern warning.
There is no time now to be selfish.
Fuck you.
To think of the broader community and your families.
Tell us what to do. Fuck you.
You could be responsible for people's deaths.
On with the body count.
Sydney, Australia's largest city, is at the center of the COVID-19 outbreak. It's being fueled by the Delta variant. The government is accelerating its vaccine program after a slow rollout.
We are in a very serious situation here in New South Wales with this particular variant of the virus. And if you can get either one of the 2 vaccines that have been made available, just go and get it.
Officials say hard lockdowns will only be eased when inoculation rates climb. For these protesters, that can't come soon enough.
You don't think this won't happen in Babylon?
Australia is facing double trouble. While the coronavirus cases continue to rise, the Australians are seemingly angry over the strict lockdown restrictions. Melbourne, Brisbane and Sydney are witnessing anti-lockdown protests. These dramatic visuals show people clashing with the police. Major Australian cities have extended the lockdown after a surge in COVID cases due to the Delta variant, and the Aussies aren't happy. The protesters call it a freedom rally, and they continue to disobey the lockdown norms and even are clashing with law enforcement agencies. This despite the police imposing hefty fines for those breaking the lockdown rules. Lightning flares and shouting slogans, a swarm of protesters broke the police lines, which had around 700 patrolling officers ready with pepper spray in Melbourne. Over 200 people were arrested, while while 6 police suffered serious injuries in the clashes. Sydney too witnessed unruly scenes. The riot control police had a tough time controlling the agitated mob. Rocked the biggest city in Australia, which has extended its 2-month lockdown. Now, for most of the pandemic, Sydney recorded very low cases until it saw a surge last week of about 900 new infections in 24 hours.
And they're just going to keep lying to you.
Premier urged its citizens to be responsible for people's deaths and not to be selfish.
Same words I've heard all the time.
We are in a very serious situation here in New South Wales. With this particular variant of the virus, and if you can get either one of the 2 vaccines that are being made available, just go and get it. Just go and get it. If it fits in the categories that we've advised, go and get the vaccine.
Fuck you! You know, and of course, you know, they got a new narrative that they're trying to spread, that those that are against being inoculated are just deliberately trying to collect unemployment. Well, how can that be so if Joe Biden's already ended it? Australian truck drivers vow to block every major highway in radical anti-lockdown strike. As Australians take to the streets to protest the country's lockdown measures, most recently clashing with police over the weekend, which you just saw the video, Aussie truck drivers are planning to shut down every major highway across the country and have advised people to stock up on groceries. So the rich will be able to stock up on it, others not so easily. You see how money is a defense? He said supply chains will be interrupted and urged Aussies to stock up on groceries to get them through the next couple of weeks. Yeah, so that's what's happening. In fact, there's a video here, so let's see if we can play that.
Good morning, Australia. As you can see, I just woke up. We've been talking to everyone around the world, everyone around Australia. It's on. The truckies are doing it. We need you and everyone else's support to watch this video, hand it up, and let everyone in Australia know that the truckies are going to shut down the country. What that means is you need to go shopping now, get what you can for the next week or 2, load your fridge, freezers. The truckies are coming and they're going to pull this country down, and we're all going to do it together and remove the government. The vets are in, the truckies are in, I'm in. I'm willing to go to jail to save my country and my children. If you want to do this, you've got to do it together as one.
So there you have it. And you don't think this won't happen in America? Babylon the Great. Yeah, the trucks are leaving, but they're not carrying any cargo.
Lucas, being the truck driver, would be the breadwinner. He supports his family, cannot support his family anymore. He has to have that right taken away from him. So I just wanted to, as the fund grew and grew, I thought, well, at least now.
Actually, this is somewhere else, Slovakia, but nonetheless, though, you know, what's happening, though, is, yeah, they're not regarding their kings or princes because, of course, man, you know, people see this government for what it is, you know, the world government, the new world order. Homo's dog captain left at mansion after governor departed. So that piece of shit fucking left office and he left his dog there. You know, what a fucking devil, man. You know. Governor Homo, who has been staying with one of his sisters in Westchester County in the final days of his third term, recently has asked staff members at the executive mansion if anyone would like to keep his dog. So there you go. Just got rid of his dog. What a piece of shit. All the major companies requiring Vanessa for workers. So, this is coming out, because especially since it's FDA approved. Companies are putting their foot down when it comes to the Crown Royal. With the Delta hoax sweeping across the country, only about half of Americans are fully vaxxed. A big wrench has been tossed into many companies' fall plans to return to the office. Yeah, because, again, what you see where they're going with this is they're trying to say that people are purposely not getting vaxxed as a ways of collecting unemployment. That's where they're trying to spin this, But, hey, there's a lot of people that are disabled who don't even work anyways that ain't getting it. So what about them? Sao Paulo, which is another city in the world, to require Vanessa for entry into restaurants and events. So here we go, man. It's at least 8 major cities in the world now. So it's just going to keep on spreading like nuclear missiles. Like a nuclear missile, it's going off. The most populous city in Latin America will begin requiring residents to have received at least 1 dose of the Crown Royal vaccine in order to enter restaurants, bars, and public events. Sao Paulo's new Vanessa passport rule, announced by Mario Ricardo, Nunes mandate that some businesses must ensure the Vanessa status of each patron in order to avoid fines with Nunes, and won't be cheap in a press conference Monday. So there you have it, man. More of these mandates everywhere, all over the world. The U.S. warns of Islamic State threat to Americans in Afghanistan. There we go. ISIS forming. We told you this, but anyhow, this is it from the Poop Shoot. Checkpoint. Yeah, he really cares about children. Make sure that they're wearing a mask and that everybody has gotten at least their Vanessa. This is American democracy.
The main challenge we face, however, is ensuring that people can reach and enter Kabul airport. We expect the Taliban to allow for the safe passage of all foreign nationals and Afghans seeking to depart the country.
No, we will not let you go. Bismillah. No, we will not let you go. Let it go.
We're going to do everything that we can to provide safe evacuation to our partners. And
I say,
but let me be clear.
Super freaks next to him.
Who wants to come home, we will get you home.
You can believe him, right? Can a microscopic tag be implanted in everyone to track their every movement? There's discussion about that. Afghanistan again. The stories that matter, the humor that... Fuck! Okay, hold on. Jihadism and Al-Qaeda. The terrorist group has ousted $1 trillion U.S. investment in Afghanistan since 9/11, which was a false flag. It was so that way they could supply the terrorists with the tools and the guns. That way, and don't forget all that $82 million worth of equipment. Yep, because their final stop is Iran. In March, I traveled to Afghanistan and the Middle East with General Kenneth, the Alabama-born Marine who heads Central Command. He had been overseeing the frantic evacuation out of Kabul during one of several interviews aboard his plane. I asked him, do you really think, given the intermarriage, the intertwining of the Taliban and Al-Qaeda, when the Taliban is really ever going to be willing to restrain Al-Qaeda from doing anything against us. By then the Taliban had roughly half of Afghanistan. So basically, you know, you'll hear about it, ISIS. Oh, and don't forget Obama bin Laden. And I say Obama because that was a hoax too. You know, there's already tons of videos showing you that Osama is Obama. Afghanistan could start to run out of food by September. That's why the people really want to leave. It has nothing to do with Sharia law. It has everything to do with the fact that they don't have any resources anymore. Okay, they've been bankrupt to death. You know, especially with the fucking bullshit. And look, here we go. World Food Program calls for urgent aid as chaos and Taliban takeover and second drought. All right about the drought hoax. Why? Because all these people are building underground bunkers to survive World War III. That's where the water and the food is going. It's going to them. Only the rich plan to survive World War III. The rest, you're all fucked. UN agencies have been warned of food shortages in Afghanistan as early as September without urgent aid funding. As it emerged for state supplies, donate to the World Health Organization. Yeah, so that way they can put something in you to track your every movement. First Lady's press fucketary calls on Rachel Campos Duffy, Fox News, to apologize for her comments. I'm sorry that Biden's a piece of shit. I'm sorry that he fucked everybody over. So fucking sorry.
The First Lady's press secretary on Monday called for an apology from Fox News and weekend host Rachel Campos Duffy, who over the weekend said Joe Biden had failed the country for letting her husband run for president. Campos Duffy also criticized President Biden's, quote, mental state in commentary, criticizing the exit of troops from Afghanistan and the administration's struggles to evacuate people from that country. Joe Biden's press secretary Michael LaRosa said, quote, this is disgusting. Had R. Campos Duffy and Fox News know better? They can do better, and their viewers deserve better. I hope they'll apologize to the First Lady and leave this kind of talk in the trash where it belongs.
So, will she suck cock? You know, I think that they will suck cock. You gotta remember, man, they're in the positions they are because they do suck a lot of cock. You know? So, she will give mouth to mouth, or oral. She'll suck his dick, absolutely, man. That's what all these dumb dick-sucking bum politicians do. Containment grows to 40% on the Dixie Fire. Oh, it's 40% contained. Oh, my bad. Containment increased 2% overnight at the Dixie Fire as of Monday morning. The fire is 40% contained. The Dixie Fire grew more than 1,500 acres overnight. It's continuing to burn. More than 725,821 acres. So, there you have it, you know, just let it burn. Don't throw no water on this thing. Just cut the trees. Newsom requests presidential major disaster declaration for North State fires. Yeah, because he needs to really sell his real estate off. Fuck Newsom asked Joe Blow to issue a presidential major disaster declaration for wildfire-impacted communities in Lassen, Nevada, Placer, Plumas, Shasta, Siskiyou, Tehama, and Trinity counties. I bet he did. And hey, could you give him a bid for his mansions he's been selling? The request is in response to the Dixie, Antelope, Monument, McCarlin, and River fires. So, that's what fuck Newsom has to say. Or should I call him Recall Newsom? Drought worsens in Southern California, with Ventura County in worst category. So they must have a lot of underground bases there. You know, a lot of underground bunkers, you know. These bunker boys, you know, who are planning to survive World War III. As sweltering drought conditions continue to worsen throughout California, Ventura and other southern counties have shifted from extreme to exponential drought conditions. You know, so more water police, you can bet, you know. I already said cut the state by 15%. So, there you go, man. More horse shit. U.S. crops wither under scorching heat. Inventories of grains worldwide are dwindling further, pushing up already high prices for corn and wheat. Yeah, and didn't I just read something about corn and all that being crushed by Biden's new thing? Yeah, all serves a purpose.
Signs of the drought in the western United States are everywhere, from the dry riverbeds to the depleted reservoirs, canals, and fallow fields. And western farmers are hurting.
This is a fallow field where there's not enough water to plant. No water.
Yeah, because water police.
The rice dying.
Right now, the U.S. is in year 2 of a drought that encompasses almost the entirety of the American West.
Liars.
And though dry periods are part of a natural water cycle in the West, climate scientists are noticing changes that are making it easier for the region to fall into drought. This is causing farmers to go to greater lengths to access their water, which can create a ripple effect in neighboring rural communities. Water moves in the West in the same cycle as the rest of the world. First, precipitation falls, then the water seeps into the ground or becomes runoff that flows into rivers and streams. It's either sucked up by plants or humans or evaporates back into the atmosphere, starting the process all over again. But what's unique about the West is where and how the precipitation falls. Experts say it often comes in the form of a few big storms, traversing the region and falling as snow in the mountains, like in the Rockies or California Sierra Nevada. The snowpack it creates serves as a natural storage.
But I'm supposed to believe because of global warming that it don't anymore, right? Yeah. You know this is horse shit. Is Afghanistan the first domino to fall? Well, like everything else, though, this is all being done on purpose because this is the war to end all wars. Saddam Hussein once referred to the war against Iraq as the mother of all battles. Now look at where everything is. With America withdrawing from Afghanistan abruptly some 20 years after the false war of terror, the big questions being discussed throughout the strategic sphere, those both in big institutions and laying out coaches. Is the American loss in Afghanistan the first domino to fall? Well, eventually it's going to be the collapse of Babylon the Great. It's fallen. It's fallen. Yeah. Again. Yeah. And look at that. The fag flag in the back. Yeah. Place of Sodom and Gomorrah. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Because we know what the real meaning of that is. China, U.S. allies must be accountable for rights violations in Afghanistan. Yeah, because, they have been destroying that place ever since. And now that they're pulling out, pretty much everything's going to be destroyed. That's what America does. Under the banner of democracy and human rights, the U.S. and other countries carry out military interventions in other sovereign states and impose their own model on countries with vastly different history and culture and cause great suffering, Chen added. The U.S.-led invasion of Afghanistan removed the Taliban from power 20 years ago, but it worsened the security situation in the country. Yeah, because America drained all of its resources. The poppy fields, they ain't going to make any money on that anymore. America already done got all the opioids. Why do you think that Oxycontin is so popular? Where do you think it comes from? They've drained it of everything. The militants intensified their offensive and rapidly overran major cities in recent weeks as the U.S.-led terrorists enforced their will was seen as a hasty withdrawal. Yeah, because they enforced their will upon them. Now that we've got everything that we want from you, we're going to leave you with nothing. That's what America does. U.S. spy chief holds secret meeting with Taliban leader. Okay, this is just another repeat of the other thing. Yeah. The discussions likely involved implementing an August 31 deadline for the U.S. military to conclude its airlift of thousands of... Yeah, right. Yeah, you watch this thing spill over. That's what they want. U.S. retreat from Afghanistan a lot worse than Saigon in 1975. Well, that's actually true. It is worse than Vietnam because this is 20 years worth of shit, right? In an interview on Tuesday, Mitch McConnell also pushed U.S. President Biden to continue the evacuation of Americans and their allies beyond an end of the month deadline for the U.S. troop withdrawal from Afghanistan. Yeah, so he's just basically telling them to stay, Yeah, it's looking like tit for tat here. But you and I both know these temper tantrums, between the Democrats and the Republicans is all just for show. Russia slams U.S. plan to deploy forces to Central Asia after Afghanistan pullout. Yeah, because they're also moving in there. You know, willing to be the Asia, Syria, and Egypt. So they're just now trying to enforce their will on Asia. Russia slammed reported plans by the United States to deploy troops to the Central Asia region following the hasty withdrawal of foreign forces from Afghanistan and the Taliban's takeover of the country. Sergei Lavrov said on Tuesday that Moscow did not want to see American terrorists in the Central Asian countries and to the south of Russia's border, as the measure would make the region a target for militant attacks. Yeah, so pretty much though, yeah, they're really provoking Moab and Magog. Taliban warns U.S. troops must leave Kabul airport by August 31st or face consequences, as you know. The Taliban has rejected proposals by the United States and its lackeys to extend evacuations from Kabul airport past August 31st. Oh, and there's even more. Okay, more bombing by the Israeli state, the least of the flock. This must have just come in. I didn't see that earlier. Israeli state unleashes overnight air attacks on Gaza. Officials fear new collision course with Hamas, which that's a proxy group that they control. Late into the overnight hours, Israeli terrorists are pummeling the Gaza Strip following accusation that Hamas deployed incendiary balloons into the southern Israeli state earlier on Monday, which reportedly caused up to a dozen fires. So far, sites in Gaza which have been hit by Israeli raids include Jabalah, Zaytan, Beit, Lashu, and Hamas Qasida site west of, so more false flags. At least the flock drawing everybody in, and then you got this one. U.S. F-15 jet shot down alleged Iranian drone that came near U.S. terrorists in Syria. So that's what they're claiming. On Sunday, the Pentagon announced that an enemy drone had been shot down over eastern Syria as it flew near the vicinity of the American terrorists. The incident happened Saturday, but with details so to emerge and revealed by the next day, which included a U.S. F-15 fighter jet engaging the drone in the air. So, pretty much the U.S. could put illegal drones over other countries, but Iran, who happens to be an ally of Syria, can. Who's America to say who has the rights, Hell, they can't even get their troops out of Afghanistan. And speaking of Babylon Fallen, here's what's going on with Philly.
I watched one of the most shocking videos that I have ever seen in my life last night. As a viewer, one of the members here in our community sent Kelly and I a video from Philadelphia. I can't show that to you yet because they haven't given me permission, but what I saw was unlike anything that I have ever seen in the United States of America before. It was a slum. It was a third world country, and it starts to create that bigger picture of the things that are happening in California, what's happening in Georgia, what's happening in Pennsylvania, in Florida, in other states across the country as we go from a first world nation into a third world country seemingly overnight. What we look at, Kelly and I, is the Philippines. We look at places like India, and we try to see how those people live, and we try to see how they get by with less. And what we see is that people there are mostly happy. Yes, they're living with less, but they are living. What I saw in Philadelphia, what I see in California, is they are living with less, but they are actually dying with less. So in the Philippines, people are learning to live and get by with less. In the United States of America, people are dying with less. Their culture, their nature is just completely different. There's no acceptance of this ongoing financial crisis. And so they are thrust from a world of you have electricity, you have a home, you have a car, you have a job, into have-nots, and they have nothing. And so in doing this, they become slums. They become really disgusting parts of the country. And it's really disheartening to see, because then you start to see the massive amounts of drugs, prostitution, anger, violence, criminal acts that are taking place. And in fact, as we watched this video from Philadelphia, and we saw the dozens and dozens of people just stooped over, we started to think of how much like zombies they were, and how there was no preparation in America for this financial crisis, no readiness to go from being a world of plenty to one of not. And so the country falls, and so society crumbles. It was really disheartening to see, and I hope that you will work like Kelly and I are, and we're trying to work out ways to get by with less, not because we have to right now, but in preparation. And I'm talking about everything from saving some 2-liter bottles. If your kids drink pop, maybe you drink some pop, saving some of those 2-liter bottles. If you have canned foods, what can you do with those cans afterwards? Can you make them into rabbit waterers? Can you make them into chicken waterers? What can you do with those big cans of peaches that you purchase, or applesauce that you purchase at the big box store? And making these plans right now will make it so that you not only have extra money today, but that transition as the whole, the entire country goes from have to have not, will become that much easier for you, and you will not be thrust into drugs, violence, anger, criminality, or despair.
But like everything else, though, you know that most people are fucking spoiled. You know, these are the Edomites that are actually smart, you know, but you got a lot of retards out there that won't even take heed, and they'll just laugh at his video. I mean, they laugh at Chris Green, they laugh at Alex Jones, and these are some of them that are in the know that, yeah, man, you know, and they have money as a defense. They're not going to go out very easily, you know, and they know how to survive. But the 2/3 and the rest ain't going to know how to survive. We, the elect, the Most High is going to be with us, on top of us, just having the knowledge of how to survive. Revelation chapter 9 verse 13, and it reads, "Then the sixth angel blew his trumpet, and I heard a voice speaking from the 4 horns of the gold altar that stands in the presence of Yahweh. And the voice said to the sixth angel who held the trumpet, Release the 4 angels who are bound in the great river Euphrates." You know, the great Euphrates River, which we know where that is. That's right there. Then the 4 angels were prepared for this hour and a day and a month and a year, were turned loose to kill 1/3 of all the people on earth, which is going to be by way of that nuclear destruction. And I heard the size of the army, which was 200 million mounted troops. Now, what are the mounted troops? Because this is a different translation. Those mounted troops are talking about nuclear missiles. And in my vision, I saw the horses and the riders sitting on them. You know, again, you know, talking about the nuclear warheads that sit on the cylinders. The riders wore armor, and that were okay. Yeah, this is. But listen to this though. The horses had heads like lions. Okay, had heads like lions. So therefore, talk about the warhead. And fire and smoke and burning sulfur billowed from their mouths. So, you know, what does that? Thermonuclear detonation. 1/3 of all people on the earth were killed by these plagues, by the fire and smoke and burning sulfur that came from the mouths of the horses, you know. For again, you know, it's talking about the nuclear warheads. Their power was in their mouths and in their tails, for their tails had heads like snakes, with the power to injure people, which again, you know, we're talking about not literal snakes here, but we're talking about, you know, the cylinders that release the warheads. But the people who did not die in these plagues still refused to repent of their evil deeds and turn to the Most High. They continue to worship demons and idols made of gold, silver, bronze, stone, wood. Idols that can neither see nor hear, nor walk. You know, when they seen America coming up in its ultimate destruction. Neither did they repent of their murders or their witchcraft or their sexual immorality, which has to deal with sodomy and everything. It's a filthy liquor because, again, man, this place, Babylon the Great, is a place of Sodom and Egypt spiritually. So I hope all has been edifying. And like everything else, I'm going to show a couple clips to a movie, which I had made mention of in the previous videos. And I do have some clips from them. And I suggest trying to get this movie. It's called Miracle Mile. But this is what happens when the nuclear destruction comes. He receives a phone call, and in that phone call, you know, come to find out that they're about to launch nuclear war, that Russia has deployed their missiles, and that the U.S. has also attacked Russia. And this is the video trailer, and then I got one more after this one.
Love can sure spin your head around. God, where do you begin?
Well, hello.
We must have been meant to be together. It's too bad you have to work tonight.
Only till midnight.
Fate is a funny thing.
Take a nap, because you're going to need all your energy tonight.
It was one of those strange nights. Finally meet the right girl and you blow it. That could ruin your whole day.
It's going to be a really bad day for everyone.
It's happening. This is it. This is really it. This is the big one.
This is a joke, right?
It's really happening. Happening.
This can't be true. We'll all be dead if we don't get out of here. Nobody believes this, do they?
Bundy.
Make a list for me. People who want to bring along.
We gotta get Julie. Who's Julie? Harry Belafonte. Who are you? Who are you? Stop and let me on. I don't stop and nothing. Jump! Don't hurt me, man. I got Nakamichi Pioneers. I got everything. If it doesn't happen, I'll tell you what doesn't happen, man. I'm dreaming. That's it, I'm dreaming. Y'all ready to go? You the pilot? Hey! Hey, do you know anybody who can fly helicopter? Helicopter pilot.
All the helicopter pilot bars are closed. What's the problem? It's true. Love can be exciting.
Trust me with this.
Even terrifying.
Julie! I love you!
Nothing could prepare you for an experience like this.
What is it you heard?
Miracle Mile.
Listen, I'm just a guy who picked up the phone.
And there's one more. And this scene is more based on the phone call. This actually, the whole movie used to be available on YouTube, and I'm taking this from the YouTube, and this is just for edification's sake, but this is pretty much, though, you know, they won't be expecting it.
It's happening. I can't believe it, but we're locked into it. 50 minutes and counting. Christ, I just can't take it.
In 1 hour.
Dang it. I'm sorry, Dad. I shouldn't swear. I'm sorry, but this is it. This is really it. This is the big one. Thor Arthur 66 AZD. You know, like I told you what would happen if it ever came down? Well, it is. We don't know why. I mean, why would we, huh? It's for real, Dad. It's no drill. We shoot our wad in 50 minutes. They're going to pick us up in 5 or 10, and you can get it back in an hour, and 10, maybe 75 minutes.
What exactly are you talking about?
I'm talking about nuclear fucking war.
Who is this?
Oh, where's my dad? Go get my dad.
Your dad? Well, there's nobody here. Where's he supposed to be?
How the hell would I know? You're in Orange County. I'm in North Dakota.
Hey, is this some kind of prank or something?
Frank. Oh, God. Is this 254-9411?
Yeah, it is. But listen, it's just a phone booth. It's a phone booth at a coffee shop. I heard it ringing.
Is this 714? Did I dial 213? Shit! Oh.
In 1 hour.
Shit. Oh, man, they see me on the monitor. Fuck. I patched into the Red Line XCOM to do this. Look, they're gonna nail my ass. Tell Dad. Just tell him that I am sorry about that summer. Okay, he'll know what I mean.
All right, look, that's enough.
Just tell anyone.
This is a joke, right?
Yes, sir. No, sir, I was just checking circuits, sir. Wait.
Secured. Should I trace?
Listen, it's probably a felony to joke around on the phone like this.
Who are you?
Who am I? Listen, I'm just a guy who picked up the phone. I mean, I don't know if this is a wrong phone number or a joke or what. What happened to Chip? He was just joking, right?
Forget everything you just heard and go back to sleep.
Hey!
Sound like a familiar song? So tonight I'm going to party like it's 1999, and that's the phase that everybody's going to be in. But in 1 hour, this place is going to be consumed by nuclear fire. Because you notice that was 60 minutes that he just said. Well, he said 50 minutes, which is still within the length of an hour. Isn't that interesting? That just leaves me right here. Revelation chapter 18, verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord Yahweh that judgeth her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her, for when they see the smoke of her burning. So this could be seen all around the world. Rupley is going to be filming it. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. 1 hour. And, that's what gets really interesting about that phone call and all that. So try to rent that movie. It's called Miracle Mile, obviously. But, this is what's going to happen. The merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth her merchandise any more. The merchandise of gold, silver, and precious stones, and of pearls, and fine linen, and all purple, and silk, and scarlet, and all thine wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of precious wood, and of brass, and iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and the souls of men. Proving that America is Babylon the Great, because who bought all the slaves? Think about it. The fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all these things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off, for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, the great city that was clothed in fine linen, and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the companies in ships and sailors and as trade by sea stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? So again,
we don't know why. I mean, why would we, huh? It's for real, Dad. It's no drill. We shoot our wad in 50 minutes. They're going to pick us up in 5 or 10, and you can get it back in an hour and 10, maybe 75 minutes.
What exactly are you talking about?
I'm talking about nuclear fucking war.
Who is this?
Oh, where's my dad?
Call halal Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai.
Your dad? There's nobody here. Where's he supposed to be?
Brakatam Yalphalek. Shalom.